All right, you're live.
This is House Education, Tuesday, March 31st. So much of our time is talking about what the future should look like. So I have invited to join us today John Adams, who has really been the person behind all of our mapping tools, really here as a resource. What I'd like us to do is look at what is posted. These are once again my creations, but are it's my district maps that I came up with previously with some adjustments based on feedback I've had, and then kind of an attempt to create CISAs largely based on geographic regions, student population, topography. Some of this is undone, so it is not complete, I should say. So it's going to be important to have feedback from all of you. This is really our time to say, no, I really think for now we should do this. At the same time, I don't want us to get too hung up on lines and decisions for a number of reasons. One, in the language that we've been working on, we provide the ability it's really guidance. It's not hard and fast lines when it comes to school districts. We allow for them to be sort of moved around. Two, whatever we do is probably going to get tweaked even more in the Senate. So we should do our best and then kind of move forward. So John is here really as a resource to put stuff up on the wall, make changes as we feel comfortable coming to consensus on some changes. So maybe, John, while you're here, you could go ahead and put up the draft districts with draft CISAs, I think, to start, and then we can. So here's what we got out there. This is the two maps combined, and then we've got each map individually. So I kind of adjusted the CISA map a little, not a lot, but to reflect some other lines and also to create at least one more within Chittenden County. So I will just say that the changes that are probably most significant here is rather than having these were based on originally on the VSA regions, rather than have one that goes from the Canadian border down to the Rutland County border, kind of expanded the size of the one that would be Addison County and adding into it as CISA both Champlain Valley and Mount Mansfield. No, not Mount Mansfield. I may have made an error here in memory. But anyway,
when you're talking, would you just let us know which of the three that,
so we are
that we're looking at, or should we?
Yeah, so I have in front of me the one with the town names and school locations. So I'm looking at in the ones that we have posted. I have the CISA and district map.
I'll just point out, John Adams, Director, Center for Geographic Information. I will just take the opportunity to point out here on the School Explorer, you'll notice if you go to the Map Layers tab, there's a House Committee on Education, and I put that as a little section. And if you toggle that down, these are different layers that we can add for you for reference to put into the interactive map. So if there's anything you'd like us to, if you have other versions or anything else you'd like to put on the interactive web map, we have a little section now for the committee, and we can put things there.
I'm a little confused because the map that is up there on the screen has different colors than any of the maps that are published to our site. So I don't even know which one we're on.
All right, so let's put up on the big board, this one right here. This is one we should have open in front of us.
Yep.
So, I would say, right away, an error that I made was in the Chittenden Central region. The CISA that kind of bisects the District 14 tan area.
Oh, that's me.
And should actually be going around, up and around the tan area.
Yeah.
That tan area is just one.
So district.
That is the Mount Mansfield Union,
Okay.
Unified Union School District.
So that the entirety of that one is meant to go with
Which one?
CVU
And
and
Addison
Addison.
County.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So
Kate, go ahead.
I'm wondering why the purple District 23
Yep.
is carved.
Okay. I
by
would
the
say
seesaw.
that also should be. I mean, some of these aren't going to be perfect. So for example, that was originally carved, shouldn't be like that. It was not my intention. But I left it just the same, because Twinfield and Plainfield are part of the same supervisory unit. This is where it's not going to be perfect. We're never going to be able to group, because the point here is we're trying to make things smaller. So that
We're trying
one,
to make things bigger.
I'm sorry, we're trying to make the number of
The number.
things smaller by making them bigger. Thank you very much. So yes, that line should be going around the purple. In District 23. So this is what we need to be doing right now, everybody, is just sort of pointing out these things that show up to you that didn't necessarily show up to me.
Shows up.
All right, Beth, you're up.
In the color within the CISA, I've sort of suggested, and it's come from my committee as well, that Waterford, Barnet, Walton, that Caledonia Co-op district be colored blue, the same as St. J and Kingdom East, because they're already having conversations anyway.
Okay, so.
I mean, I know they can go outside the lines because it's guidance, but if we kind of made the guidance as close as we could get it in the first.
All right, so we are talking for the moment only about CISA lines. Is that-
Okay, we're gonna do CISA lines
And then we'll
first.
do
We have to
district
combine one
lines.
up here.
Yeah.
So let me look at the CISA
Well,
line.
doesn't it make sense to do district lines first in case that changes where you put a seesaw line?
Chicken,
Yes,
egg,
sure.
chicken, egg.
I think so.
Because I noticed that lake region has now been moved from green to purple, like
Yes.
you suggested.
So you were suggesting to change Waterford to light blue?
Waterford, Barnet, Walden are the Caledonia Co-op school districts. They're not contiguous
Barnet.
currently.
Although I'm the one that suggested the Lake Region or be moved from the green to the purple because they pair better with, or historically have paired more with North Country. I think that the latest iteration of that conversation is geared more towards pairing Lake Region with Hazen as a combined school.
The way it works.
So even though I said that, I don't think that's really what the people who are in leadership are anticipating. So this is what makes it so hard. And I think that this is why I am so hesitant. Like, I get why we need a map and a model graphic organizer. But I feel like it's just in some ways an effort and utility because people are going to have these conversations as we're asking them to, and they're just gonna redo all of these lines. And like, for instance, I know we're talking about districts and not CISA. I mean, CISA isn't on districts yet, but like Craftsbury, I don't think is gonna want to be in a district like this.
Well, so you're bringing up another challenge that I did not have time to solve for. District 26 is now too small,
Yeah,
because I moved the
Lake Region
Lake
out.
Region area up there on, on the concept that we want to sort of have regional high school discussions.
I mean, maybe you should move it back. I don't know, like, or, I mean, the other part is like, we don't necessarily have to move all of the whole district, right? Like Albany and Glover could be part of District 26 and Irisburg and Barton could remain part of District 13. But
Where do they currently go to high school? That's
they
the problem.
currently go to high school in, those two towns currently go to Lake Region.
Yeah, that's, I definitely was trying not to break up
Yeah.
unified high school areas.
But I don't know if that's necessarily a priority for the superintendents that run those high schools. In fact, I've heard that that may not be a priority, knowing that all this is gonna shift anyway.
But won't that come out during the study?
Well, yes, it will. And so I mean, that goes back to my original point, which is that all of these lines, like, I don't know.
Their guidance, that's what I keep telling myself.
It's guidance.
I know.
I just keep saying that over. and
Right,
over.
but we do need to have fewer, probably a fewer, a District 26 is an issue in terms of what we do with it now that we've kept Lake Region sort of talking to North Country.
But it's small because those areas are really rural and really underpopulated. I mean, we've
And
all,
there's a lot of mountains there.
yeah, we've had a lot of conversations about small by necessity. And like, this is where it is, right? Like, that's not going to be the same size as you get closer to Lamoille or Chipman.
Yeah, right.
So just asking the question at the higher level, when you drew these maps, was your, two questions, was your intention to try to keep SUs as they, or SDs as they sit today clustered together, or were you fine with just cutting off single or multiple districts out of an SU or out of an SU? That's a question.
Yeah, because we had to have fewer boundaries.
Some numbers.
Yeah, so I went this with some intentionality and some throwing caution to the wind.
Okay, so I'm asking for a reason because I think having been part of the SU for so many years, and surrounded by SUs, I know they work together amongst themselves. And I'm gonna just ask the second question, which is the current CISA. In any of these maps, it isn't exactly the way it is today. And so I just want to note it. I know it feels weird.
What's it missing?
I mean, so this is accurate in this original map that you put out because it's Wyndham's Southwest Supervisor Union. It goes all the way over into here. It looks weird and all that, especially when you lay.
That's why I have it there. So the CISA serves Stamford, Reedsboro, Searsburg.
CISA does, well, yes, whatever's in Wyndham Southwest. I'm not part of Wyndham Southwest. And the other thing I would say is Hartford, way at the top end of it, I don't believe is a part of it. You have to ask somebody who's in charge of the CISA, but the Hartford district there, Hartford high school and all that, I don't believe they are part of the CISA.
Doesn't mean they.
I'm not, I'm exactly, I'm not making any suggestions about this.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that we're honoring the BOCES, the CISA that's in place right now and not carving off people out of it. We want to add people into it. I'm good with that, but I don't know how those folks will fit.
Yeah, all right. So then thank you for that.
So you want to draw that boot back in there?
Yeah.
It may feel very strange, but it's part of a supervisor union. And honestly, Reedsboro, which is one of them, just closed their school at town meeting. And, the other two are towns. Well,
That's
three.
add back in Searsburg, Reedsboro, Stanford.
Could we turn them green?
This is one where
Well, yeah, I don't.
there's going to be conflict,
No.
just in lines, but the lines are meant to be advisory.
And when I say that, I am not saying that they won't want to be with another grouping. I'm not concerned about your district lines as much, but just want to make sure that we're honoring the current supervisor union, which is part of that succession. They may say, "Oh, I want to be in the pink area."
Any thoughts from those of you in the Chittenden County area? John, while you're there, could you tell us there's so many words and phrases in here. Is district, just tell us what District 21, 20 are.
21 looks like it's South Burlington.
Well, maybe that's a job for the interactive map as opposed to the static map then.
And 20 is Burlington.
Or Burlington with Winooski. Maybe, John, if you could pull up the interactive one.
Apologize if the colors won't line up.
The one that has the site builder, which is kind of nice to know, is like how many students are in each of the CISAs or districts. That's the CISA map. That's the district map. The little purple.
Refresh here.
Purple is Winooski, right?
Yeah. All right.
It's Burlington and Winooski.
So I don't, you probably can't sort of, well, maybe you could you make some of these CISA line changes in real time while we're here?
I can do my best.
So in the tan, lightest, sort of yellowish tan district, CISA, no, wait, I'm sorry. Yeah,
CISA.
yes. So in the green CISA, at right, the greenish bluish right in there, we need to add to it Jericho and Underhill.
Thank you.
So Champlain Valley South,
It's, yes.
Yes.
add Underhill and Jericho.
What are those tan squares, just to make sure, Westford and, yeah, okay, yes.
All right, now what does that make Champlain Valley South up to for numbers of students? I can't read from
Just
here.
a little under 11,000, 10,769.
Holy cow. It's a little bit bigger than 4,000.
Well, these are CISAs, not.
Oh, right, okay.
And then would you, to the east of that, move Marshfield and Plain, the CISA line that is between Callis and Marshfield and East Montpelier and Plainfield.
Yeah, turn those around.
The line needs to.
Yeah, we don't want to change the districts, we just want to change the CISA. to put them into the blue next to it.
Marshfield and
Plainfield.
Plainfield into the red.
Oh, so your CISA line is moving, your district line's moving?
No.
CISA line.
Cease the line in that case. Do we move the right ones? Yes, thank you. Now, if we go to. So, do people feel good about those changes?
I think I'm still confused in the last one. Did you change the CISA line or did they just change color?
This is the CISA map.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. That's why.
All right, so then now let's go down to the Massachusetts border. And make red Searsburg, which are right on the border, Searsburg,
That's the,
Greensboro, yeah, you're on the right ones.
That one,
That one?
those
Yeah.
two and
those
the
two,
one
and the
on the
one to the
bottom.
bottom
bottom
left. There it is.
Yeah, those three should be now red.
These to the southeast street.
Yes.
Yeah. Just, not even with that, those two.
I think one of the issues, could you tell us what the Northeast region has for numbers of students?
10,132.
So, I'm not, how many do we have here anyway? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's abundantly clear that the Northeast region is a large geographic area. In a way, I'm sort of comfortable with that just because of the numbers of students. And in a vast part of that, the students don't even have they all are tuitioned elsewhere.
Outside of the CISA.
Might be within the CISA. Yeah, might be
Some
within
yes,
the
some
CISA, might go up to Canaan, some may go down to Linden or
Yeah.
St. J,
Some go across the river.
some go across the river.
And were you saying, oh no, it's already.
So now in terms of the district groupings,
Can I ask a question on the CISA?
Yeah.
groups for- Because you're talking about the large geographic region, but I'm looking at the brown, the light brown.
well, you're right.
Number, they're pretty
Yeah.
large geographically as well. What are the numbers in comparison there?
So the center one is
Center
the biggest
pretty
one.
Geographically large.
Yeah, the Winooski Valley region one.
That one's,
That's 14,000.
okay.
We
Bottom
have
two are pretty geographic.
District 76. Join that giant. See some.
So I'll tell you folks, because of decisions I made, I've left, we've got a number of very small districts. There was a desire to sort of, based on the regional high school model, to sort of picture a future in which many students would be attending high school at 32. But that sort of orphaned District 26. So now that's a very small
Mhm.
district.
Right.
And same thing with District 25.
I think you could put District 26 possibly with District 13, well, I was gonna say 17. But again, like you could also break it up. I mean, the CISA lines make sense to me. The districts do not make sense to me when this is what we're asking people to do anyway. So I just don't even know. It seems like we're spinning our wheels trying to make decisions that are just gonna be second guessed anyway.
Yes, that's exactly what we're doing.
How many are in District 10? How many students?
District 10.
Okay,
What is District 10?
down. Randolph, and OSSU and, WRVSU.
So are you saying maybe 25 and 10 combined?
So maybe take, sorry. Northfield, Roxbury, move those into 23, Williamstown, Washington, Orange, down in District 10.
Okay. Let's do that.
What?
Move
Move Northfield, Roxbury to 23.
I said, sorry. And then those three down to District 10.
So the tan is gone completely.
Yeah. Which is part of our,
Why not move all of them down?
Roxbury is already part of Montpelier.
Where they go to school already.
That doesn't matter though.
And I know Northfield has interest in being with the Montpelier U32 region.
Could we, in terms of the other like northeast, could we just spread out a couple of the surrounding districts to make District 26 disappear, like put Glover and Westmore in District 12 to make District 13 a little smaller, and then move Craftsbury, Wolcott into District 17 and Woodbury into District 23.
that's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot of movement. Slow down. Okay.
You hold yours for a moment.
Okay.
My little change.
Your district.
No, we never finish up with
Oh,
Josh's.
okay.
Can I ask how many students are now in District 23?
Issues.
5,620,
And how many are in District 10?
3,582.
Yeah, I think Roxbury and Northfield go down.
It's enough kids.
I think Northfield is on the highway as it is. So it's close to Randolph and it belongs with Randolph.
But more importantly, where do folks in Williamstown has a high school, right? So where do they go typically to get,
CTE.
CTE?
Although we're a heartbeat away from Barry, we go
Sure are.
to Randolph. We're part of that Randolph. And so is Northfield.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Removing
25 into 10?
All 25 and 10.
Woodfield and Roxbury.
Into the gray that you just made gray.
And this is all,
Theoretical.
this is not,
Yeah.
this is not hard and fast decided right now. This is do it, sleep on it.
Now you're at what, 4,200?
220.
And what's District 23?
4,980.
Has it changed?
Didn't really change.
Not much though. Yeah, I just think that.
General question.
Yes.
I'm looking at my area.
Let's go up to your area. since you haven't Spoken yet?
Students within that CISA, which has Grand Isle County and all the other District 18 and 19, are students. Grand Isle County has no high school. Would they be confined to that CISA to go to high school?
No, the CISAs definitely do not govern anything like that. The CISAs are really just service providers.
Okay.
But the more interesting question is, okay, we have, what you're talking about is District 22.
22.
And so would that limit under this grouping? Well, so what your question is, would that limit to where they would go to high school if District 22 became a school district? And I'd say the answer to that is if they wanted to. The easy answer would be to say, yeah, that would make everybody pretty simple. However, if that district within that district chose to have an attendance and choice policy, such as the language that Chris laid out earlier, just within their district, they could. I mean, they could frankly, within their district, do what they wanted.
just such an isolated area, being an island, there's only two ways off from it,
Yes.
excluding Canada and New York. So it makes it very difficult.
Is it fair to say that people in Isle of Lamont and North Hero tend to travel south to high school?
Isle of Lamont has to go across into District 18 to get back into District 22, which it belongs. Because
Oh.
there's only, the only way off from Isle of Lamont brings them on to the southern tip of
Albert?
Alberg.
Yeah.
So they have to go through Alberg, District 18 to get back into 22. And at this point today, there are people in Alberg, students in Alberg. It only goes through 8th. I know of a couple of students that actually go from there every day to South Burlington to high school. That the flow of students in most cases goes to the south.
Do you have a sense of, like, do most Alberg kids go to Missisquoi?
Yes, I would say that most, Missisquoi or New York. Some go
Or New
down,
York.
some go down south into the Burlington area. But
Well, and I will just, yeah, thanks. And I would, but you know, at a bigger level, I would just remind everybody that these are voluntary.
Right.
And this may be one of those places where they say, because of our enrollment patterns that are like a frankly buckshot scatter, it may not work. Or,
Grand Isle County itself only has about less than 900 students,
including K to 8, which they educate on the islands.
counting 12, up to 12, up through 12.
But it's
Total.
I mean, again, many of these may fail, not fail. They may choose to be that is not advisable. But look at that. You can see right there.
Yeah.
Many go to, right now, is that student travel or is that just adult travel?
Student.
Yeah, so most of the Alberg kids go over to Missisquoi, or some go down to BFA St. Albans, up across into New York. But most of the islands, Alberg's not an island, but most of the islands, the flow is southerly toward, not many, maybe one from Milton, Colchester, and then most of them go to Burlington or South Burlington.
Does it make sense then to change the seesaw line to take the islands and drop them into Chittenden Central?
Well,
To me, it does.
but remember, the CISA is there to provide services.
Right. But we might want the islands people to be talking to someone in Chittenden County. It's possible that they could join the Colchester High School or whatever. Or join
So I think what you're saying is that CISA
the
line
conversations that
that cuts the light tan part, move that down to the bottom of the tan part in District 22.
yeah, take the islands and move it all into
Oh, you
the
have it
group
going,
below.
the other way.
Yes, the flow goes down into, some go to Colchester, some Burlington, South Burlington, some go to Essex. Those are the areas where.
All right, well, let's be clear. We're having two different conversations. We're having a CISA conversation and a district conversation here.
Well, we want the seesaw though to reflect
How services flow.
how things go, right? So it makes sense that District 22
Yeah.
should be in conversations with people to the south.
20 and 21. So that area. Yeah,
Sure.
to me, that makes sense.
This is probably more for ledge council, but I think this is where in our work this week, in my opinion, the boundaries of the CISAs are far more important in that we're actually creating those. And they're a faster on-ramp to improving services and creating efficiency. And I understand the principle of why we're also giving the state a graphic organizer to start filling in possible districts, but the flexibility is more important on that part of it. So that we are not trying to quickly make that decision right here about the islands, because there's gonna be a couple funky things. I don't, again, this is a broad statement, so it's not super helpful. I'm not sure if Ledge Council can translate that at all, but to me, exactly map stuff is far more important on the CISA part than the.
And I would agree. That's why I think it's important that we take the islands like you're suggesting and carve around that with the seesaw line and drop it down into the south. So that when you're talking about services, special ed and whatever,
Yeah.
you're taking the kids who are in K-8 up in here and, you know, following those services as they drop down into whatever schools they go to for high school.
And actually, there are some eighth graders that leave the islands too, seventh and eighth graders.
In a future world, the CISA is there to provide services to the school district. So if we talk about Grand Isle K-8 school, and they would like to take advantage of CISA services, doesn't matter where the kids go to high school, because no schools will take advantage of the CISA services in their region.
That's true.
You know, how, I hear what you're saying. I could also say we should just drop the CISA line so that Colchester and Milton are in the same one.
This is what.
But like, you know, if you are in the business of providing a speech language pathologist 1 day a week to Grand Isle, 1 day a week to South Hero, 1 day a week to North Hero, 1 day a week to Isle of Mont, where would those services probably be coming from? And I still agree with you, Kate, they're probably going to come from down in Chittenden County. But then we've made a fairly big Chittenden Central region in the CISA map has how many?
12,739.
We're going to be adding into that a bunch more.
Oh, how many are in District 22? How many kids are we talking? Well, Milton's in there, but how many are just,
4,400.
Well, actually, we could keep Milton.
Counting Milton, yes.
We could scooch around Milton.
we could. We could leave Milton
That's just a trend now.
with District 19 up there and
Yeah.
cut the islands and bring them on down.
Hey, I like it.
All right, let's do that for now. So, John, here's how I'd explain it to you. In the CISA map, we would add to the Chittenden Central region, South Hero, Grand Isle, North Hero, Isle of Mont. Although
They're grand.
I'm a little hesitant on Isle of Mont since they gotta. Let's just do that for now.
They are part of the supervisory union at this point. It's
Okay. And how many did that add to it?
The Chittenden Central region is now at 13,345.
Which was close to what we were at before. And the fact that most of those kids go to school down in that area anyway, makes me, all right,
Good change, Leland, I think.
all right, thanks, Kate. Any other,
CISA lines, right?
well, we'll take anything at this
We
point.
happy with CISAs?
I mean, I could help figure out what to do with this Nagy District 26. If you want to take the time. I think that should get exploded into the districts around it. And I think we could do that by shortening some of the lines. So like Glover Barton and Westmore, I think could be carved off into District 12, because a lot of what you have up above the top, at the top of District 12 is like, there aren't really a lot of people there, that's just space. And then that way District 13 would be slightly smaller. And you could add District 20.
What are we adding? We were adding Glover.
I was on Greensboro, Glover, and Barton into District 12. And then move the rest of District 26, or actually Craft Spring Walcott over to 17 and Woodbury down to 23. And Hardwick either to 11 or to 17.
So I have a bit of a concern about.
And Standard to 12 as well, sorry, you have a concern?
Well, I know that Barton, Albany, Glover, et cetera, the current Orleans Central Supervised Union is having conversations right now about building a central elementary school, and you're taking 3 of the towns out that are part of that. So based on current conversations that are happening, that's a little concern. Moving Standard into 12, I need to know more about how Standard goes to school. But I would be okay with, from what I know today, because if Walden, that Cal Co-op supervisory district is a little funky and it's non-contiguous.
Right.
But if Standard was part of it, then Walden Standard would be now contiguous into 12, and Barnet Waterford would also be contiguous into 12. So I think moving Walden, Standard, Barnet, Waterford. And again, that's got reaction. There may be some information out there I don't
Walden,
have.
Standard.
Make them blue.
then
So the
District
CISA
12.
line would move around Standard. And that may be a problem that I just am not aware of.
John, would you mind clicking on Standard and telling us what supervisory unit it is in?
It's in Orleans Southwest.
Yes.
Yeah, so they go
That's what
to,
the CISA, yeah, so moving Standard over may not make sense.
I don't know the Standard, they may have choice.
They do.
Yeah.
But their patterns of how they go to school, they go to Hazen. They don't
They
go to
don't,
Linden.
they don't go to London.
I think some of them go.
Some do, but the majority, I think, go to Hazen.
Okay,
But I would definitely do Walden, Waterford, Barnet, Turnhout.
Alden.
Because Walden, Barnet, and Waterford is the Cal Co-op
Walden,
supervisory
Barnet,
district.
Waterford.
They're
Into-
non-contiguous.
Into District 12.
And I know they're already talking with St. Johnsbury and Kingdom East, so
Okay,
they would end up probably on the same study committee anyway. But they're in the same CISA already, so that could
Yeah.
happen anyway without the district line changing. Because they're already in the same
Yes.
CISA group, so the study committee could still be made of that.
But, yes,
Yeah,
and
because the
we're
facilitator
looking
will
at these
move them.
districts as being
Right,
suggestions.
yes.
It could just happen. But we want to make it easy.
Well, they're in the same CISA, so
all right.
Is this making it easier though?
yes. So short answer. Because if they're already having the conversations anyway, now they now have a facilitator to assist them with those conversations.
Oh, yeah.
That they want to have anyway.
Okay,
That's just for my.
all right, so you are saying we're gonna add Waterford and Walden to District 12
And Barnet.
and Barnet.
Yeah, those 3 towns are an SD currently. And
And we may as well move Standard in then?
I don't know enough about Standard to know. But if you want it to be contiguous,
Yeah, we want to be curious in that it
but
does sort
that
of,
breaks them off from their current supervisory union. I hesitate to break up existing supervisory unions without a really good reason to.
How many kids are in Standard?
I also know what roads go into Standard, which ones are impassable.
Just go ahead and chop it.
Oh.
It's the guillotine today.
Again, this is just
All
brainstorming.
all right, so let's, District 12 is how many?
The revised one, because we've been moving things around a little, is 3,979.
And did that happen just as did you just add Waterford and Barnet?
I added Walden. I have not added Waterford or Barron yet, which I can do.
I think let's move standard in there too, then for the time
The
being
time
for
being.
discussion.
Can't have these all carved
And it
out.
may mean, maybe Walden's,
Really?
when Act 46 happened, when the consolidation happened and they ended up in this non-contiguous. Maybe Walden doesn't want to be part of Walden, Waterford or Barnet. Maybe they would like to be green. I don't know, but
Walden.
yeah. It makes sense
So
to
what
be
have we done with
continuous.
Well, people like, I think, I know.
Yeah, I was the one who brought it up and none of that actually helped us get at what I was saying. We're still there.
All right, all right. I realize this is hard and question was really helpful.
Most of the people on that.
I mean, I know we just made changes in the western side of District 13, but that included Barton, which I think because of the interstate probably would want to stay in North Country, which why I was just suggesting Greensboro, Glover, and Westmore. You got it. I'm not sure. Put Barton back in the other one.
Well, Barton would have to be because it's got the high school in it, right?
Well, yeah, I guess, I mean, technically, the high school's in Orleans, but well, I guess Orleans is Barton. Depends on who you ask.
Orleans is part of Barton?
Orleans is a village within the town of Barton.
Okay.
It is not a,
It is like bigger than Barton.
it is not an actual town.
It's really funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dude, all we've done is make District 26 smaller.
Right, because I mean, my original
Maybe we
was to
should-
get rid of it completely.
Okay,
By
Trying to take it away.
Yeah,
all right, so what else can we,
we can move Crafts, I mean, Craftsbury wants to be its own district, I know that it does, so I'm not gonna say
But we're
any.
talking CISA, so.
no, we're talking,
No, we're talking
districts.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean,
Kids from-
I don't wanna talk about Craftsbury, except that I would say districts are 17 if I had a different answer. And, well, could be in District 17. Hardwick could be in. We're in this really funny spot right now where Glover is 6 minutes difference between North Country and St. J Academy. It's like
Right.
literally right on the interstate. So I just don't even know what to do. I'm tempted to put them towards St. J Academy. And Barton towards North Country, kind of split the difference.
Well, Glover is part of the Lake Region Union High School,
Yes.
correct?
Lake Region Union Elementary Middle School.
Yeah.
Is it not part of Lake Region UHS?
But that's what
Separate
I was gonna say about
districts.
Hardwick too, is Hardwick could really be part of 17 or 11 or 23, like. You've got 14, 15, and 16 right there. I mean, like.
So I have a question.
Let me just finish this. If we were to just take District 26 and move it into 17,
The whole thing,
the whole thing,
I mean, maybe,
we are talking about a geographic area that is operating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 high schools. And maybe it would be a good thing for them to all talk together.
maybe, I mean, I would be more tempted to be Craftsbury and Greensboro, north or east, not. This is a weird area. This is why, oh my God, this does not work.
It's vast and rural.
I think that, Aaron was coming the closest with like the CISAs or what we need to do.
That's
Okay.
my questions.
All right,
I
all
just
right.
like the, yeah, this
All right,
alleged
so-
council drafting question.
No, but that's a good, okay. But that's all an important point here. For the time being, let's just blend District 26 into 17. They're within the same CISA for the time being. Of course, now we've made that CISA
We changed it.
gigantic.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying, like, we can. split
No, it
it
isn't.
up.
They're all showing the same CISA.
They're in the same season.
Yeah.
So I guess that's my question. Are we now getting to the point that we were going to not get to about overthinking all of this? Because we know it's going to be adjusted down the line anyway.
Right, and that's why I'm saying
Brady's
let's,
point, the CISA lines
right,
matter more right now than district lines
All
because
right.
the study groups will be having those conversations.
yes.
On the ground.
We will, and I just.
Yeah.
This is why I think we should go I know we kind of moved past here, but why I was saying that we should go with the CTEs, because they're already districts, or they're already some kind of service district or CTE districts. And then we don't have to get into the what school districts do you want? And
But it gets challenging with CTEs because like you've got St. Johnsbury and Linden are two of the CTEs. Canaan is another CTE.
we could put that into, we could make the St. J and LI CTE one CTE
You
district.
could sort of use that CTE model to carve up this section like you're trying to do right now.
Well, that's
You
what
just
I'm
pull out
saying.
that map and go to town in
Yeah.
that area.
Might work for you.
It might work for you in your
It's not in
area.
other areas.
There is nothing, I mean, what is becoming increasingly clear to me is there is nothing that is going to work consistently across our state for all areas because our needs are so different.
Which is why it's not mandatory.
Right, but instead of getting to that work, we're spending all our time on trying to create closest to something versus saying, just do it, which is what we're actually saying anyway, but just, I
We're
Sorry.
saying just do it with.
All right, so we'll do a little Nike here and just do it. So let's move 26 into 17. We're just gonna, that'll be a sort of stop and think. And again, these are just mandatory conversations, not mandatory outcomes.
but that doesn't make sense because talking to the educational leadership in 26, they don't want to be with 17. They were talking about either 13. I mean,
All right.
that wasn't part of, that was never part of the conversation. was them
So,
talking
all right.
17.
So maybe what you're saying is,
Let's put
13.
them in
But
13.
then 13 is huge.
So,
yes, but I think you're bringing up a very good point. That it will be within that group that where they're the ones who need to get together to settle the
Yeah.
Hazen versus Lake Region versus North Country question. Thing.
And
And then they may say, we should be two districts, and here's how they should be broken up. All right. Sorry, John. We're gonna move 26 now into 13.
The original 26.
Yeah, he's talking about the original.
wait, the
Because we
original,
moved
because
it.
we've already
Oh,
moved
standard,
standard.
yeah, well,
Take a look at what has
We should
changed.
leave
before you can go and say that.
Green for now.
Let's just name the towns that you want to go into the 13.
so Craftsbury, Wolcott, Woodbury, Hardwick, Greensboro.
I think Standard needs to go there too.
It's standard.
Because
And
the road from Standard to Linden is often impassable in the
Oh,
winter.
Okay,
But
great.
going into
Yeah.
Greensboro. is
That's
like
that's what we need to know. All right. Standard two.
And
Without Walter.
Do we really need the district map since we're allowing the CSAs to make those decisions through the conversations?
Frankly, have been ignoring it in my opinion, because
I mean, it
the
would,
district's changing immensely.
it would end like, this is a tough conversation that we're not gonna figure out the right things to. We've talked about allowing the CSAs on the ground to figure out what they need for their regions. We have all the language in there that voluntarily pushes it to do so. I mean, I think the map is, I understand the reasoning and it's nice to have, but I mean, we are complicating the situation. Just, I mean, I know we have a lot invested in this, but does that make sense based on the language?
I think, I mean, literally, I just going off on what Josh is saying, I think in some areas, if I really am trying to stay focused on CSAs because I think that that's the most helpful way to go about it. And these things are important. You don't want to separate naturally merged districts in separate CSAs. But I have looked down at my region and we've got basically Wyndham County chopped into two across this. And I guess that means two separate study committees. But I can see the study committees wanting to go north-south because that's where the roads go. I can see the whole county saying, we want to be one study committee because we all sort of merge together in one form or another where we overlap. So I'm kind of not, I'm trying to not be focused on the districts. I just want to make sure we're part of a CISA and that we have the opportunity to have the conversation more broadly if we need to. Because I don't want to assume that those colored lines in there are going to be the final decision.
I would add that I think the district lines are important because we're having the conversations here. Like the fact that Beth knows that these towns are in conversation already. Let's make sure that they're in the same seesaw by making sure that they're in the within the same district lines, sort of talking, having that again, they're just a guide, right? But you want to make sure that towns that are already talking are in the same flow.
We add language that says that the facilitator's first duty is to meet with everybody, with all the boards within their CISA, to I don't want to say to decide, but to reevaluate the guidance map and to adjust accordingly. I guess
I like that idea.
I don't want to necessarily give up on the map. There's also sort of reasons out there because people have said, people sort of want a map as to what the future might look like. I'm not immune from what you're saying at all.
I know.
Yeah. I get it.
I think what you just suggested is a very good compromise, is that we provide a map. I mean, we have to stop. To me, I'm sorry that I got like upset before, but this feels like trying to tie a toddler's shoe when you're laid out the door. Like, I think that.
No shoes.
Right. This is a good compromise to like give the map, fine, whatever, and like, let's stop so that we can focus on the savings and then make that the first task, because like, here is your map, but we know the first thing that you need to do is get together with these people and really make sure it's the right map.
I'm curious about down the road because we're never going to get this right.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not saying we're failing. I'm saying we're not going to get every line right. So, I want to just make sure the language, even within the mandatory CISAs, allows for movement of lines as needed down the road. Because when these conversations start to unfold, with a facilitator, we might find a CISA line, even though we've made it mandatory, may need to change it. I just want to assure people that can happen.
Yes.
So one of my other concerns about doing the recommendations map, like we can all talk about our regions and what we do know, but there are areas that representation isn't in the room and they're not being allowed to have the conversations about who's connecting about merging currently and stuff like that. I think if we go back to making sure that current regions are within the CISAs, the current districts, SUs are within the CISA lines, they will have those conversations in their meetings about who's talking about merging currently, right? So I guess if you have those 3 towns that are talking about doing an elementary school in the same CISA, then when those conversations start, that's going to be part of the conversation regardless, because they're all within that CISA. Now,
You should go back to some of this, because there might be a way to put some language in here to, say, you have this much time to, I mean, we're making CISAs mandatory.
Yeah.
So I have to go back and review all the timelines, but we're making CISAs mandatory. Maybe there's a time frame of finalizing those mandatory, after some of these conversations happen.
My concern with not having a guidance map is that it will be much harder to bring people together in an organized fashion, even though we've allowed them to change. But it provides a starting point to say, we're gonna get this group together and they may all get together and say, this is insane. We should be getting together with all of these other people. And we allow for that adjustment. But without a sort of a starting guide, I worry that it just might be chaos.
I totally agree with that. I'm not suggesting we don't have a guidance.
And slower. Yeah, and slower. I feel like,
How about we take a little break? John, how's your time? I realize we are not using you to the best of your abilities.
He's enjoying the
He's
show.
gotta be used to that by now.
No, he's not.
I think we booked you for an hour. We've already delayed you.
I'm fine to stay or to
Just take advice from.
as afterwards if it's helpful.
Will we get an updated CISA district map?
Yes, so for the CISA decisions that we've made, if you could create a new version of that overlaid on the districts, but we sort of left a bunch of districts hanging there.
We did. But we did make some good changes to Jericho and, yeah.
Yes,
like this.
yeah.
Don't you take that? Didn't want to be cut.
Uh,
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, why don't you do that? Send it to Matt. We'll thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And we'll